Today I will be discussing about how to make short notes for essay topics very quickly, and the same we will be delivering to our students in the form of mind maps. Short notes only in the form of mind maps. For example, how much big it will be there to make one particular class notes on social media or media, for example. Then I will go to the mind maps. For example, if this is a social media, first we have to write the quotes by famous personalities. If any anecdotes, then we will mention about anecdotes, then introduction, then history of social media, then characteristics of social media, dimensions of social network, rise of social media and how the social media has been evolved, and what has social media done, social media, its challenges, regulations issues of social media, and miscellaneous issues of social media, the social dilemma, countermeasures, and the conclusion. Similarly for media, means see, this much content will be there for any of the essay topic, huge content will be there. So this all content when we read, this all content when we try to understand also, it will be impossible. So how we have to rationalize it, how we have to make notes such that it will become easy while doing revision. So for that purpose, we are coming up for the essay topics in the form of mind maps, which will help you. For example, try to understand this, how we have to make, I will discuss on mainstream media. Media is the essay topic which I took, and this we made it in the form of a mind map. Mind maps are most effective. So how to make mind maps for all the topics? From this sample, we will make multiple mind maps. How, I will tell you. For example, the mainstream media. So for media is a topic, you understood, the topic is media. Like media is a double-edged sword. Media is a domicile sword. Domicile sword means the sword is on our neck. Domicile sword on the neck means if we don't move, we will leave. If we move, we will die. Or it's a double edge, two sides there is a sword. We have to be very careful with the media. So this type of essays are expected. So how we have to make our notes for an essay? So coming here first, for anything, if you are writing introduction, first you make, this would be helpful as in a template. Why I am discussing media today? Why I am discussing media today? There might be some important thing. So if you are writing 2024 September mains, there is some question. So you have to show to the evaluator that this particular question was been asked because it is in the news for this purpose. So this essay was been asked, one way of writing. Or take a quotation, one way of writing. Anecdote, one way of writing. Or traditional way, introduction, body, conclusion, very, very traditional format. If I am allowed to write an essay on media, everything will be having some current relevant. Everything will be having some current relevant. So first is in the news, Supreme Court judgment. Why it is in the news? Supreme Court judgment. What is the judgment with respect to media? There is one news channel which asked for renewal. They applied for renewal of every year, they have to make renewal. So they applied for renewal of the license to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, central government. Then central government rejected it. Central government rejected it, saying that you are promoting anti-national thing in your television channel of Kerala. Then what happened? It is denied. When they applied, it got denied. Then the one media channel went to Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, a judge under CGI gave a judgment saying that whether you have any strong material that they are promoting anti-national, whether they are promoting terrorism, whether you have any strong material, means evidence. Then the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, there is a benefit of doubt. So just by doubt, you cannot stop giving license to any media channel under Article 19 of the Constitution, right to speech and expression, and they are expressing their view. Hence, they are expressing their view, you have to continue giving them license, and gave a time period of 4 months. Because of that 4 months, for 4 weeks, time was been given for 4 weeks. So now, from that day onwards, they gave the license to that particular media channel. So it is in the news, right to speech and expression. Number 2, World Press Freedom Index 2023, it is also in the news. Under World Press Freedom Index 2023 year, our rank is 161 out of 180. Earlier it is 150 out of 180. So our giving freedom to the press is degrading. Hence our press people are not enjoying the right to speech and expressions. Hence it is inevitable to give freedom for press people, but India is not giving. How I came to conclusion? Because of one particular organization which is giving the report called as World Press Freedom Index. We are underperforming. Because of these things, the media is in the news. Because of these things, the media is in the news. This might be the reason because of which the media question was been asked in the essay paper. So one part you completed. Why it is in the news? You have to identify. You have to be current relevant. Sometimes in UPSC interview also they will directly ask, social media is in the news, why? Or media is in the news, why? For many reasons. So sometimes something might be very much significant. Then the second is, you have to remember some quotes as we discussed. Any quote. Social media a double-edged sword. You make like this. At one particular white paper, you have to take one paper, and that way you have to take one paper. If this is A4 sheet book, in A4 sheet one paper, this mind map should be there. This mind map should be there. So in one paper, one page, one side is called as one page. So complete media content should be there. We will forget as a human being. So when it is there on one particular page, whenever you are free, just randomly go through it, then what happened, by repeatedly doing so, we will remember. For that purpose, the mind maps will be helpful. So some quotations, you can remember any 4 or 5 quotations. I made 4 quotations, you make any 2. Social media a double-edged sword, or a free press should neither be an ally nor an adversary, but a constructive critic. Mahatma Gandhi itself told, it should not be enemy, it should not be friendly, it should be a neutral. The media should play a role of neutral. Gandhi ji's quote, dissent is a safety valve of democracy. In democracy, dissent is a safety valve. Means safety valve, the concept where it came? In modern India, if you remember. Congress, Indian National Congress itself is a safety valve for the British. For everything there should be a vent where I can have my grievances. So in the democracy also there is a need for a vent, and the vent is media. Who told this? Justice Chandrachud, CGI. So it's a vent means it's a very important thing. It's a safety valve means very important thing for the democracy. Why nations fail? In the book, Robinson told that importance of strong institutions for stronger nation, and one of the strong institution is media. For a stronger nation, there is a need for stronger institution, and the stronger institution is media. Quotations. Humanly impossible remembering more than 4 quotations. So make that 4 quotations. At least you are writing 2023 mains. If you, from now onwards, another 30 days are there. If you 30 days also, daily one essay, philosophical also. Not only fact based, not only institution based, philosophical also we can make such. Then constitutional dimensions, very important. For that particular essay topic, what are the constitutional dimensions? The constitutional dimensions are 19 clause, 1 clause A. Freedom of speech and expression. 19 clause 1 clause G, right to practice any profession, means they have the right to practice media or press. Reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression except national security, public order, decency and morality. If not, they have absolute freedom of press except national security, morality, decency and public order. Why it is in the news? Why? Because sedition, section 124A. By showing section 124A, the government of India arresting the journalists, saying that you are against the national security, you are against the public order. That is the reason, but we will not go that much deeper. So, first is constitutional dimensions. Article 19 is the main article which is talking about freedom of press. Then Supreme Court judgments. Make an arrangement. Supreme Court judgments with respect to that topic. What are all the Supreme Court judgments at one particular point of time? Romila Tappar case. Romila Tappar case of 1950. To the point, what Supreme Court told? Supreme Court told freedom of press is part of freedom of speech and expression. So, where the freedom of press became part of freedom of speech and expression means under article by Romila Tappar case. Oh, Romila Tappar case is one case which had declared that freedom of press is also freedom of speech and expression. Brijbhushan and another versus State of Delhi case. Supreme Court held that provision of sedition were constitutional and did not violate the right to freedom of speech and expression. This judgment was been again negated in our judgment of 1962, which is called as Kedarnath case. Kedarnath case, everything cannot be made under sedition. Why? Because 1950 Brijbhushan, the Supreme Court told if anyone is talking against the government also sedition is also sedition. But again another judgment came in 1962, if any media is talking against political party, it will not be called as sedition. But 1950 what it told? Any media talking against the government is called as. Then who will talk? Who will dare to talk against the government? Why? Because they are booking section 124, a criminal offence. Next judgment, present case, Media 1 case, 2023. The Media 1 case in the beginning I told you is a significant victory for the freedom of press in India. State using national security without substantial evidence as a tool. Without substantial evidence as a tool cannot stop any press. If you have substantial evidence, if you have material, then you can stop the press. Without substantial evidence, just because of benefit of doubt, you cannot cancel the license for any media. It is told under which judgment? Media 1 case, as I told you. Next, IT rules amendment, which told that fact checking unit, the creation of a new fact checking unit that will be responsible verifying the veracity of online content. For example, my content, someone copied, I went to Supreme Court. So it told that under IT rules amendment, April 2023, Supreme Court also reiterated that there should be something called as fact checking unit. What is this fact checking unit? Which content came for the first time in online? They are the owners of the content. Fact checking unit. Vinod Dua case 2021. This is also with respect to sedition. Vinod Dua case is also with respect to sedition. The government had filed sedition who spoke against Narendra Modi. Then the Supreme Court told that the sedition cases should be used only in the rarest of the rare conditions, that too if national security, public order, decency, morality is impacted. If not, there should not be any situation where you will be using sedition. These are Supreme Court judgments. How many judgments we got? Ramesh Tappar case, Brijbhushan, Media 1 case, IT rules amendment, Vinod Dua case. These are the some of the judgments. Means judgments we have to pack together. First introduction, then constitutional provisions, then Supreme Court judgments. It can be social media, it can be subsidies, it can be freebies, it can be electoral reforms, it can be criminalization of politics, it can be police reforms. Any concept, if we make it in a mind map, we can remember forever. Similarly, next, significance of media. What is the significance of media? It is the fourth pillar of democracy. It is the fourth pillar of democracy. It revealed Bofors scam. Media revealed Tehelka scam, if you remember. Bond papers, Tehelka scam. So many scams were been out. 2G spectrum scam is also because of media. So because of all this, I am calling it as fourth pillar. Information, education, awareness is created by media. Voice of the voiceless is created by media. Good governance. Why? Because it is informing the citizens. Informed citizenry. Democratic Participation. People are watching in media and they are participating. These are all the significance of 4 points. Similarly, then we will come. History of Indian press. Freedom struggle, we have Tilak's Kesari, Anand Bazar Patrika, Young India, which are very famous in the national movement. These are the medias in British times who had escalated the issues of freedom movement to the public. So media is having very important role, which started from British times. Similarly, post-independence, Indian Express under Ramnath Koenki published blank pages to protest. Indian Express, I told you, Hindustan Times also did the same, Indian Express also did the same. What? They released blank papers in emergency times. Means media have no voice. Why? Because which situation it was? Then what are the bodies, sir? Then what are the bodies? For example, see. Then present system of regulation. What is the present system of regulation? Press Council of India, National Broadcasting Authority. Then what is this Press Council of India? It is a statutory quasi-judicial body, ensures ethical journalism, can warn but cannot punish. Means what? It is just watchdog, advisory. It is only advisory. Watchdog of media. But it doesn't have any teeth. It doesn't have any power. It is just advisory in nature. National Broadcasting Authority, watchdog of broadcasting agencies, TV channels. National Broadcasting Agencies, again, it doesn't have any statutory backing. It is a voluntary group of all the TV channels. So when it is a voluntary group and it is also all of the private people, then obviously they will work for their own benefit. So regulation is not strong. One is Press Council of India, which is statutory body, but without powers, without power to punish, without teeth. There is another body which is called as National Broadcasting Authority, but which doesn't have statutory status, which is a voluntary organization of all the broadcasting companies or channels. So in this way, what we did, these all are regulations. So present system of regulation, significance of media, Supreme Court cases, constitutional dimensions, quotations, and why it is in the news. Similarly, now current affair means in the same, means more points. Issues related to media. What are the issues now which we are focusing upon? Issues related to media. First media is every political party is having their own channel, biased media, and the medias are working like corporates. Corporatization. Medias are corporatization, they are working for TRPs. When the TRPs are more, then the channels are getting more advertisements. Hence the media channels became corporates. TRP issues, like what happened Republic channel, they are not having that much TRPs, but they manipulated the TRPs and they showed to the public that their TRPs are more. That means manipulating the TRPs means manipulating the people, manipulating the public. TRP issues, Republic channel. Chilling effect, potential legal consequence of speech leading to censorship. Sometimes these people, in order to make it sensationalism, two parties will be sitting, they will be mediating, they will be raising him, both will be fighting in the studio itself. Chilling effect for sensationalism, that is the current thing which is happening. Journalism standards is coming down. Journalism standards are coming down. Accountability is reducing. Why? Because Press Council of India is only advisory in nature. National Broadcasting Authority is a voluntary organization which doesn't have any statutory backing. These are the current issues with respect to. So you also address the current issues with respect to media. Similarly, it can be criminalization of politics. It can be police reforms. Present issues with respect to police. Present issues with respect to criminalization of politics. Present issues with respect to abuse of drugs. Present issues with respect to women's safety. Then media ethical issues. Ethical issues which are there in media. Number one, paid news. Paid news, completely paid news. Yellow journalism. What is yellow journalism? Means sensationalism. They want to make it sensation. Like what? The important things are unbothered and unimportant things are bothered. For example, recently this Ram Charan had a daughter. Then it has become a sensational news. Original things are getting down and the unnecessary things are sensationalism. Third is propaganda. Sometimes propaganda also made. For example, Aaj Tak channel working for one political party. NDTV is working for one political party, or NDTV is tilted towards left wing, or Aaj Tak is tilted towards right wing. This propaganda is happening. Investigative journalism without knowledge of investigation. Investigative journalism which is creating propaganda. What is the truth which happened in Manipur, no one knows, but the channels are creating propaganda, which results in what? Communal violence in other regions. Propagandization is also one of the current issues or ethical current issues which is faced in media. So headings only you have to write. Only headings only you have to write. You will be not in a position to remember. I showed you the PPT, those all things you will not remember. As a teacher, the teachers will be telling all the subject. But finally in the examination hall, you will remember only words. Oh, paid news, then you will write about paid news. Yellow journalism, you will write about yellow journalism. Propaganda, you will write about similarly. Media and legal concerns. Media and legal concerns. What are the legal concerns which are there in media? For example, defamation. Defamation is one thing which media channels face a lot. For example, a boy and girl sitting somewhere in the park, they don't know who are there, they take a camera or a video shoot from backside and they will telecast whatever they want. So defamation is one thing, whether the defamation which is of individual level or press council or press people, if they are doing defamation of one person, it should be very serious. If I scold any one person, it will be limited within this particular geography. So the defamation will be very much limited. But if press, without proper information, if they telecast something and if it is wrong information, the person had become defamed. And the intensity, magnitude will be very high. The intensity and the magnitude will be very high. So the defamation is one thing which is associated with media. Privacy concerns are questioned, I told you. Privacy concerns are questioned, they will be telecasting if the two are people, anywhere, whoever it may be. Without the permission, it's very, very, very negative. Nowadays everyone are becoming. There is a need for permission. Why? Because it's a violation of privacy according to Puttaswamy. According to Puttaswamy judgment of 2017, right to privacy is a fundamental right, which is also in the news today. Data, digital, personal protection bill. Media trials, investigative journalism, they themselves are determining who are the criminals. They themselves are determining who are the innocents or who are the culprits. Regulation, there is no regulation. Regulation itself is a two things are there. When we regulate media, then the media will not work full up to its potential. Hence there will be compromise. When they compromise, the proper information will not reach the public. Hence regulation, what type of regulation, what are the provisions should be there in the regulation? We cannot make clear-cut regulations. Why? Because if regulations are strict, then the press will be controlled. If the regulations are free, then the media will act over. Then what is modern media nowadays? Modern media is fake news, which is also called as deep fakes. Now we have the concept of deep fakes. Fake news by deep fakes. In some WhatsApp we will be seeing some people will be speaking, but they are not the original. If you listen, if you watch, the synchronization will be not the real. Deep fakes, fake news, clickbait. If it is social media, how many clicks came? More the clicks came, more it got promoted. Infodemic, misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation and disinformation. Wrong information or the information quoted wrongly. Correct information quoted wrongly, or the information itself is wrong. When the information itself is wrong, is called as disinformation. When the wrong information is quoted wrongly, it is called as viral news. Everyone wants their video to be viral. Viral news. The viral news itself is a infotainment. Citizen journalism. Lack of research. These are all the things. Modern media is now for this, fake news. The modern media is on this particular line. So we also covered contemporary. We also covered modern. Then we have consequences of media. Sometimes government, what it will do, sealed cover procedure violates. Sometimes the government, what they will do, if any case is there with respect to media or any other thing, what the government will give in the form of sealed cover. The Supreme Court told in the same one media, the Supreme Court told, why your information in sealed cover, it should be open. Why? Because right to information, everyone should know why you are keeping in a sealed cover, why it should be secret. Media should be having accessible to this. This is another thing which is present in the media. communication of confidential information between government and judiciary, impact on polity, Manipur violence, 78-day delay but reputed finally, impact on polity, impact on society, polarization, escalate oftenly, impact on economy, foreign policy and security, people will not come and invest. If anyone want to invest in Northeast India, we had a program called as Invest Northeast India. Now because of this Manipur issue, whether anyone will invest? No. So what the information, what is happening in the Manipur is, it might be true, but because of media it is getting more exaggerated and it is becoming internationalized. When it becomes internationalized, the economy will be impacted, the polity will be impacted, the constitutional principles will be, the sovereignty will be impacted. In our country affairs, other country people will be coming. It is because of, means covering all the topics, headings related to media. What media should do? The media should follow middle path. What media should follow? Golden mean. Golden mean means they should not be any sides of the extremes. They should follow golden mean. They should not judge. They should give information. Ethical point of view. Which principle we have to follow? Principle of golden mean. Madhyamika marga, which is given by Gautama Buddha, is also applicable to media. Media never should take any of the stand. Media never should come to any of the positions. The media position should be middle path. Principle of utility. Greatest good to greatest numbers. Principle of harm minimization. These are the things which are related to media. What it will think? They will see almost all the judgments will be with respect to majority only. But the media should not work for majority. The media should work for justice. It is minority or majority. They should work for justice. Similarly, then next, suggestions with respect to media functioning. Two committees were being constituted, one in India, other in UK. Varghese Committee, autonomy of Akashvani and Doordarshan, formation of National Broadcasting as an independent broadcasting agency. This NBC was been formed only on the recommendations of Varghese Committee. There is another Levison inquiry in 2022, reviewed the general culture and ethics of the British media and made recommendations for a new independent body to replace the existing press council of British. So there is one particular body called as Levison inquiry body of UK, and we have one committee which is called as Varghese Committee. Suggestions means expert committee recommendations also we have to quote. So we also made in that particular mind map. Similarly, regulations of media, state regulation, independent regulation, self-regulation, global status of media, United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, UNDHR, provides for freedom of opinion and expression through any media. It is already present in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Hence, for the protection of human rights, there is a need for what? Freedom of opinion and expression. UDHR is also promoting free press. Similarly, Windhoek Declaration by UNESCO, there should be independent and pluralistic media. Prelims we can expect a question. Windhoek Declaration regarding what? Freedom of press. Independent and pluralistic media, promote democracy and economic development, eliminate barriers that inhibit free press, protect media personnel and increase international collaboration of media independence. These are declarations. Means now I will come to a conclusion. Mainstream media, news, quotations, constitutional dimensions, Supreme Court cases, significance, importance of media, present system of regulation. Then we have issues related to media, consequences of media, principles related to media, suggestions with respect to expert committees, regulations of media and global status of media. Like this, for every topic, if you make a mind map, it will be helpful to you, mainly for 2023 and 2024 mains goers. It can be for intellectual property right, advanced topics, intellectual property rights. It can be for generic medicines. It can be for manufacturing sector. It can be for unemployment. Now the big problem is unemployment. Where the government is giving skill development, what is skill development or demographic dividend, whether the working population is is a boon or a bane nowadays. Like this, I want you to make mind maps, complete mind maps. Try to do this, your topics. We and another person, we both are making this mind maps for you. We will be giving it. By the time you also practice by your own. By the time you also practice by doing your own. So what will happen? It takes time, but it is permanent. It takes time, but it is permanent. Like this, 40 mind maps are there. Out of 250, 2 essays you have to write. One essay will be philosophical anyway, another essay will be from the general content. One general content has been completed. Next you can focus on philosophical essay. Anyhow, if you prepare general studies, GS1, GS2, GS3 will be covered. Why? Because your internal security is there, your GS2 polity is there, GS1 Indian society is there. Why? Because fourth pillar of democracy is media. Indian society is also covered. GS1, GS2, essay, ethics of media, most important. Ethics of media. Recently one person, an IAS officer, when he was working for elections, he himself, when he is working like an electoral officer, he took a selfie and he kept in social media. He was suspended. Why? Because the main feature of a bureaucrat is what? Anonymity. The main characteristic of bureaucracy or civil servant is what? Anonymity. What he is doing should not come out. Then media highlighted it and posted in social media, part of another person. It is also part of media. When he came into contact with Narendra Modi, an IAS officer wear the sunglasses and greeted him. The social media highlighted this. The media also highlighted this. Means there are some individual ethics which need to be followed for the bureaucrats as well as similarly for. In this way we have to practice. Today, most important article, second one, how to do from news articles. I thought this is important, so it will be helpful for you. It is there in the main paper also. If you see, here also, here advertisement is given regarding that. Go and read it. The first page it gave means they advertised it. So at least you will open 6th page. Neither right to privacy nor right to information. Neither right to privacy nor right to information. Right to information, 2005. Right to information, where every citizen have the right to get the information with respect to government and government functioning and government bureaucracy, government personnel. But at the same time, whether there is any chance of violation of right to privacy. For example, if you become an IAS officer, your assets will be in the public domain. Your assets will be in public domain. You are already very rich and you became an IAS officer. That salary is nothing before you, but you became an IAS officer. But your assets should be in the public domain. Why my assets should be in public domain? I wrote an exam. On merit I got. Why I should keep my public assets? If I, means it is questioning my right to privacy. This is my hard-earned money. I have my own property, or my father gave the property. This is ancestral property which is written on my name. Why I should keep in public? Why and Tom and Dick should know about my property? Complete violation of right to privacy. So there was a debate which is happening with respect to right to information and right to. Now there is complete blatant violation of right to privacy, which was been ensured by Puttaswamy judgment of 2017 by digital, by which act, which bill? Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, DP Bill. Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. What is this? Under this, now there will be a data protection board. All the data of the people will be under the control of data protection board. The government will be having the power to take all the data for any purpose. If the government want, they can take the data. When the government got the data, who is government? People. Government means whether Narendra Modi and the Council of Ministers, no, under him there will be hundreds of employees. So hundreds of employees will be getting the data. So these hundreds of employees, one Snowden will be there. In this 100, one Snowden will be there or one WikiLeaks will be there. Finish. Everything will be in the open market. So data can be compromised. So whether this data is violating the right to privacy, that is what the question is all about. How, on the name of right to information, already you took the data of officers. Now on the name of Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, you are taking the data of every individual. When you take the data of every individual, if it is in the open market, whether the data got violated or not, yes, 100%. We will be in a sad situation, we will be in a busy situation, we are waiting for one call and one call will come. Whether you want loan, car loan will be given. It is because of breach of. So this law is the same. Data Protection, Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023. There is one example is there, classic sentence. Which information a citizen will be getting from right to information, means it is there. Information which cannot be denied to the parliament or state legislature shall not be denied to any person. Means you became an IAS officer, I asked a question. I asked you a request for your data, for your information. Whatever the information, if asked by the parliament and state legislature, you will be giving the same information you should also give to prelims point of view. What type of data can be given to the citizen under right to information? Any data which can be given to the parliament or the state legislature, the same data can be given to individual. So right to information is also violating privacy. Now the digital protection, digital personal data protection is also violating. So now we have to make an opinion. Now we have to make an opinion whether this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 we have to move forward or not. Data, everything is data. You tell me what is your opinion. In that way we have to make our opinion. 100%. Everyone doesn't want to know about their health problems. It is the data. It's the individual data. True, 100%. If health card, the data is there and if the data is revealed outside, he feels shame and sometimes there is a chance of committing suicide also. So privacy is privacy with respect to data, but now it is in the open market because a board is executing. Who is the board? People like us. People like us means human beings. There is a chance of selling it off. There is a chance of buying and selling. Then what would be the government action? Why the government is doing? The government is doing that they want the data. It can be for any purpose, political purpose. Nowadays we are getting phones also. Which political party you are voting? You got, I got. For every call, one they told, once I told, I entered one, then next time 2, next time 3, next time 4. It is because of data breach. Then what would be the best step? ఏంటి బెస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఏమై ఉండొచ్చు, ఏం చేయొచ్చు? మరి గవర్నమెంట్ అడమెంట్ they want to go forward with the bill. What we should do? See, anyhow the private people are not going to get it. Only Data Protection Board will be the controller of it. The doubt is whether this government body chance of misusing it. How to stop it? How to curtail? Stringent punishments. If any theft, if it any loose, then there should be stringent punishments. Data theft, it should not be a civil case, it should be a criminal case. Okay, only in specific situations only you have to take the data. That too like police, criminal investigation, research, only in some specific things, specific occasions. Your phone number, your Gmail ID. Your phone number, your Gmail ID. Data, information, health information, Aadhaar card, this thumb impression, iris scan, these are all data. You are preparing for civil services, data. Misuse for the political parties also, yes. Repeatedly there is a chance that they tell about one political party, or sometimes when I come to a conclusion that this particular group of people are not going to vote for me, then what I will do, I will try to cut their election card itself. I will remove their voter cards so that I will be getting votes, I will be giving only voter card to those people who will be voting to me. Data breach. So there is a need to walk on a tightrope. It's a very tight rope. We have to walk very carefully. Mainly the government should walk. Why? Because the public, 135 crore, that is the article all about. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 makes the government less transparent to the people and ends up making them transparent to both the government and private interests. They are becoming transparent to the government and private interests. They should be transparent to whom? People. But they are transparent to government and private. See, Vinisha is telling that with the consent of the individual. See, with the consent of the individual, I gave you data. It doesn't mean that my data should be in the open market. I gave you data, that means it should be with you. But I have a doubt here, whether the data which I gave you in the form of consent, whether it is going to be private or whether it is coming out in the open market. The big things happened. WikiLeaks happened. Snowden. the person who revealed the information of Pentagon, then if that is the case, then what about the data which is present in one server? Okay. In this way, from now itself you have to practice mind maps. Then your work will become easy. Make one notes, fresh notes for essay, only mind maps. The same will be useful in your GS also. It takes time, but it will be more fruitful. Okay, this is what I want to tell you for preparation. Okay.
Yes.
Any doubts? I am talking about this server is how much safe. The question is about this server is how much safe, how much it is trustful. If this system fails, then what about my data? Whether any penalization is there, whether I am going to get some compensation. Why? Because my data got breached. These all are things are. So, if they keep penalization, if we are going to lose the data, we are going to give for every data person who is having 1 lakh rupees. So, it generates confidence. Okay, I will give my data. You breach also. Like this, please make your mind maps and show me. I will tell you how much appropriate it is and you can continue.
Yes.
Okay. You have to be very practical. You cannot remember everything. That too with GS. It should be bullet words, not bullet sentences, bullet points. It should be words only. Okay. Thank you.